Hello there, my name is Grelucha, aka Jordan, and today we're going to be facing off against 6 Shooter. Great battler, he is very good. He's bested me several times actually, and yeah. But today we're going to show you our most intense battle, which actually wasn't one-sided for once. So, alright, let's get on with this. Alright. So, I lead off with my newest team member, Blobbery the Reuniclus. This is a Calm Mind Acid Armor Recover set. But, and he sends out his Volby. But he completely screws up my strategy by going for the trick and giving me a choice band. But, on the plus side, I do give him a Toxic Orb, so it does work in my favour. But this completely screws over my strategy with Reuniclus, so it pretty much becomes next to useless. But he does have his Psychic move, so yeah. For some reason, I decided to stay in and go in for another Acid Armor. So, I don't know why. So he sends out his main Ectric. I knew this thing was Mega already from the several face-offs we had. So what I tried to do was send in my Klefki to take an Intimidate from the Mega main Ectric, and hopefully get a more powerful foul play. But of course he he predicts my switch and goes immediately for the Overheats, which almost one-shots my Klefki, which really surprised me because that never happened before, really. So he goes up 5 HP. So I switched around my Klefki set. It's now got Light Clay. So I went in for the Light Screen. So so he goes in for the Thunderbolt. I was expecting a Volt switch, but yeah, unnecessary crit strikes again. So my Klefki goes down, and next I send in my Pinsir, who is like my star player for quite some time now. So he switches out his main Ectric. So he goes into the Doublade, and so I was expecting an electric type attack or Volt switch of some sort. So I didn't Mega Evolve. So I go for a Swords Dance, knowing that thing cannot do any damage to me on like first turn. So I go in for another Swords Dance. Or I was expecting a Protect. But he goes for a Swords Dance, and I was going to be, uh-oh, I'm going to have to take this out now. So, I Mega Evolve. I Mega Evolve Pinsir, so, yeah. And then go in for, like, the Area Like Thrash. But, we had mixed results. Yeah, it doesn't quite take it out. And he goes for the Shadow Claw, and he crits it and takes out my Pinsir in one shot. At this point, I thought, oh my god, this is over, but, you know, you gotta hang in there for the very, very end. So, I send out my Noivern, Boombox Noivern. So he goes for the Shadow Sneak, does just about half HP, and I go in for the Heat Wave. Yeah, so I take out his, Doublade, and, yeah, that's a big threat gone. Next, he sends out his Volbeat again to try and do summon of some sort. He goes for the trick to give me a Toxic Orb to try and reduce my power since I'm Choice Spec. And, but I go in for another Heat Wave. And, yeah, his Volbeat goes down. And unfortunately, my Noivern is poisoned from the Toxic Orb. But luckily, since it's the first turn, I didn't take any damage. So he goes into a Sylveon. And, goes in for most likely... He was going to most likely go for a Fairy-type move of some sort. So I switch into my Forretress. Yeah, he's been in, like, every single team. I just love my Forretress so much. So, yeah, he goes for Hyper Voice. And it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. So, he switches out his Sylveon into his main Ectric. So he lowers my attack with Intimidate. Yeah, he don't do any damage. So I go for the Stealth Rock. Since he has no Rapid Spinners, I took this chance. So, yeah. I go for the Stealth Rocks, and my Light Screen just wears off. So he's going for an Overheat. So I did my best to try and block that. So, I go into my Reuniclus, who's pretty much useless at this point. But he has a pretty good high special defense stat, so I was gonna think, I'm obviously gonna survive this overheat. And it didn't do any damage whatsoever. So, he goes for the Volt Switch, while I go for a Psychic. It only brings me down to half, and he goes into his Noivern. His shiny, puke green Boombat. Yeah, okay. He gets Stealth Rock damage, and I go in for the Psychic. Unfortunately, his Noivern carries Dark Pulse, and he takes out my Reuniclus. I was pretty salty at this point, because I didn't know if I could do anything at this point. So, to further screw him over, I go in with Fortress, which I know he can survive at least one attack. So he goes for the Dark Pulse, does quite a lot of damage, and I go in for the Spikes. And now he is royally screwed over. Now he takes out his Fortress, right? No, he takes out my Fortress, sorry. And I send in star player number 2, Count Chocula Grelucha, yeah? That's a little running joke I have with a Mole God. So, yeah, I go for the Swords Dance, because, you know, Dark Pulse is nothing in comparison. I didn't think I was going to outspeed, but I did, which made me really happy, so I knew I wasn't going to get flinched. No damage whatsoever. So I just keep going for the Swords Dance, right? And just to get my attack as high as possible. So he goes for another Dark Pulse, which gets me just to below half, and lets me eat my Citrus Berry and get my Unburdened Rock. The game was pretty much over at this point. So yeah, I go for Acrobatics. Yeah, I go for Acrobatics. It takes him out. His Noivern goes down. And he sends in Manectric. And Intimidate lowers my Sword Stance, but I wasn't going to let that phase me. So he goes in for the Protect to... Yeah, so yeah. He lowers my attack. He goes in for the Protect to scout what I was going to do. I go in for the High Jump Kick. I was thinking to myself, oh crap, this isn't good. So I take crap tons of damage, and I go in for a High Jump Kick again. Takes out the Manectric. I didn't think it was for some reason, but you know, I was scared. So he goes in for the Vaporeon, and he goes into his Vaporeon, thinking I was going to go for the High Jump Kick again. Obviously, I wasn't going to try that risky move again. So I go for Acrobatics instead, since it does about the same damage, really. So yeah, he gets the leftovers. But, yeah, I go in for the Acrobatics, and that takes out his Vaporeon in one shot. Game, set, and match, everyone. We've got one player left, Sylveon. I run Poison Jab on this thing, yeah. This game was over the moment I sent in Grelucha. It felt like a little bit of a douchey move, but, yeah. Letting his Noivern struggle to take me out while I was just setting up. It was mean. But yeah, that was my battle against 6-Shooter. Don't be fooled by this battle. He owned me quite a few times before. But yeah, go check him out. I'll leave his channel in the description. Give him a subscribe. It will really help him out. And yeah.